In the wasteland, there's nothing but sadness. In the wasteland, there's all kinds of radness. Yeah, a lot of radiation, really. Oh, is this tape recorder actually working? I think it might actually be. I thought the battery was dead, but I guess it works. You know, the power outlets don't. Get adjusted in this chair here and get comfy then. So, yeah, this shouldn't work. This thing is ancient. I don't know how this thing is still working. A lot of the buildings of the world have crumbled, and here's this ancient recorder that still works. You know, sometimes you find things in the wasteland it's best to just not think about. So, my name is The Fox, and, I have had one heck of a story to tell, you know. I've lived a very long time in the wasteland, and, you know, I don't know how long it's been. I stopped counting the years and days a long time ago. It's been so very long since I've seen anyone. I might be the last fox alive. But, you know, maybe if nothing else, but for my own sanity, it'd be nice to at least pretend I'm talking to someone here. So I'll make recordings. I'll use this recorder. I found a bunch of tapes with it, and I'll share some stories. You know, maybe someone finds these some days. Probably on my dead body after I starve to death somewhere. You know, there's not really much to eat anymore. So, yeah, let's kick this off. Let's tell my first story here of the wasteland. I want to tell a story about this really strange book I found a really long time ago. It was kind of about the advent of this thing called cryptocurrency. It had really cute artwork and pictures in there too. It was really, really fun, and yeah. Would you all like to hear a story? I'd like to tell one. So grab a chair and get comfy. This is the story about money. Money. Oh my, it's been a long time since money meant anything. It was that thing we did to exchange for goods and services. Imagine that. Imagine that. Well, anyways, let me get comfy here and let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a fox named Fox Toshi. Nobody knows who he is, where he is from, but he was a powerful wizard who one day decided to make something very special and useful for the world. It was a special golden seed called Bitcoin. After spending time perfecting the Bitcoin seed, he lovingly and carefully planted it in the ground one fateful day as the winds of change blew throughout the world. So there it sat, day after day as the clouds of the world breezed by, as if to say, something new is coming. Some days it would rain, as if the tears of the very world would help this wondrous thing to grow, to give it what it needed to begin a great change in the world. Other days the sun shone brightly upon it as it glinted in the light. It was still some unknown secret treasure hidden in the endless wilderness. In time it began to sprout, a humble but strong stem flowing up from the hidden solid foundation that was flourishing deep underground. In time, it had grown branches and leaves. Fox Toshi was pleased to see his creation taking root. He carefully cultivated it in these days, pruning and tuning to make the perfect little tree to someday blossom treasures into the world. The tree started to provide bitcoins. A little work, and you could have some. Fox Toshi collected a lot of these in the early days. Eventually, other foxes took notice of this strange new tree. Naturally curious and imaginative, the foxes dreamed and wondered what it all meant. What could maybe be someday? It was mostly just for fun at this point, but it brought a few good foxes together anyways. Then a lot of foxes became interested, and many started to show up and marvel at this strange tree that kept growing larger and providing many bitcoins. Little fox minds, all wondering still. They know this means something big, but few know what yet. And then one day it happened. A pizza was bought with Bitcoin, 10,000 of them. Suddenly these coins were worth something, and so many foxes started showing up to collect the coins with this massive tree provided many of every day. Anyone could collect them quite easily at this point. All the little foxes, hearts filled with excitement and joy, banding together with excited fluffy tails. It was a wondrous time. What great thing can this Bitcoin become indeed? Even a few rich foxes started to look on from the background. Their clever minds began to wonder. Soon after, Fox Toshi said he was satisfied and gave a quick goodbye, and never seen again, disappearing into the mysterious void he emerged from. He took with him 1 million bitcoins. Nobody ever learned his real name. But the rich foxes at this point were figuring out the magic of this coin. This was the future of money. And they wanted to control it. So they banded together in secret and plotted and planned and, dare I say, even schemed. The devious rich foxes began quietly buying up the supply. Small amounts at first. They didn't want their plan to be figured out early, now did they? The eager early miners of Bitcoin were mostly poor foxes, willing to part with coins for very small bags of money. The rich knew they were practically stealing the coin, for they knew the real worth, and it was secretly vast. Eventually, the mega corporations with ultra-rich foxes began to wonder, plot, and again, nay, even scheme their plans of Bitcoin domination. These clever and shifty ultra-rich foxes all pretended to not be interested in Bitcoin in the early days. Yes, we hate Bitcoin indeed. They used their news platforms, the ones they had majority stake in, to put out hit pieces on Bitcoin to help tank prices at strategic times so they could accumulate more Bitcoin at rock-bottom prices. The world was constantly lied to that this coin was a scam, so they wouldn't buy it at these cheap prices. The poor foxes, I tell you, they really got screwed. But a sort of 4-year cycle was beginning to take root, with all the traditional trading patterns that befit a new world-changing technology. The ultra-rich would put out news that the coin is the best thing ever when they were all ready to sell the top and basically rob all the poor foxes that were tricked into buying high prices. Then tricked again to panic sell at bottom with all the FUD articles put out to make them think prices would crash even lower. Indeed, the masses were completely inept as traders and kept falling for the same tricks over and over again. Always buying the tops, always panic selling the bottoms. Plenty of professors of trading were warning the whole time, you should only buy the bottoms. But nobody listens to them when price is low. Most everyone tunes out at these low levels and never believes it could rise up again. Countless stupid foxes called the coin a scam at $100, $200, $500, $1,000, $10,000, even $100,000. I mean, seriously, by this point, you got mental illness if you think it's a scam. I mean, come on. But anyway, no matter how many times they are proven wrong, they still won't believe in Bitcoin as a future store of value. But the true believers kept dollar cost averaging over the long term. They didn't panic sell, just kept stacking. And many of those true early adopters did very well in life as the years have passed on, deeply rewarded for their faith in this world-changing coin. And those who claimed to believe but didn't really all made the worst trades and plays and just got wrecked over and over again. Nothing goes right for these foxes, and sadly, they are the majority. About 6 months after Fox Toshi disappeared forever, a great wizard named Foxy Lee showed up. He had studied the Bitcoin spell for a while and learned how to replicate it and even improve upon it. So he did. He made a powerful new seed he called Litecoin. He lovingly planted it carefully in the ground on yet another fateful day, wondering if he too could change the world. And so it sat for a while, glinting on the sunny days and soaking up the rain on other days. Eventually, roots began to grow deep into the ground and little sprouts began to emerge from the coin. Before long, it too was growing a sturdy stem thanks to a solid foundation of roots that ever grew underground. The humble Foxy Lee sat and marveled, with a few other curious foxes looking on. This tree is different than Bitcoin, but also similar. The coins it grows are a beautiful silver. It's like silver, but the Bitcoin's gold. It grows faster. It seems to work better than even Bitcoin. It really was an improvement. The few foxes who liked this tree and this new coin were loved and deeply appreciated by Foxy Lee. He was like a caring father who just wanted the best for all fox kind. They all worked together to take care of the tree. In time, Foxy Lee stood proud at his creation, and many other patient and kind foxes showed up. They were all so very happy in these early days. Foxes rolled around with joy at their fun new silver coin and played silly games with it. They all knew this would change the world someday. But then one day, just when the coin was gaining great value and everything seemed to be going wonderful, Foxy Lee betrayed his fellow friends and sold his entire holdings of Litecoins for a little bit of cash. The enemies of Litecoin took great joy in this and cackled and laughed. But the mocking was only just beginning. Foxy Lee over time realized he killed his beloved Litecoin tree. And all the fox friends, what few were still around, were crying tears of great sadness. Worst of all is how they would all be mocked for supporting the coin. This would begin a great, sad, and long-lasting pain for all Litecoin foxes. The evil Bitcoin maxi elites seized this opportunity to bury Litecoin for good. The mocking, the lies, the deceit, Litecoin would begin a long trend of losing value against Bitcoin. Indeed, the Bitcoin maxis then poured concrete over the grave of the Litecoin scene, so it could never become a powerful tree ever again. They wanted only Bitcoin to be of value so that their wealth would grow. Constant chants of evil were heard on these dark days. Chants like, "El very dish Duran was Foxy Lee gotten hot," which translated to, "Remember what Foxy Lee did." After a long time, Litecoin sprouted roots. Cracks began to form in the concrete, and Litecoin would begin to rise from the grave. They thought they killed it, but Litecoin was too good of a spell to die like this, its foundation too powerful. And some clever foxes realized that over the long time, while it's losing value versus Bitcoin, Litecoin is still setting higher macro lows, which very few coins could claim such a victory. That's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, really. It mattered. Something would have to give eventually. I mean, yeah. In time, the poor foxes who missed out on owning whole Bitcoins realized they could easily afford whole coins of Litecoin. The institutions have not selfishly claimed this token for themselves yet, that this coin was for the poor working foxes who struggled to get by in life, that it was humble, that it was a better form of cash. It became more true to Toshi's original vision than what Bitcoin had become. These poor foxes were mocked constantly for believing in this coin, and they were very few in number. Some foxes realized the hero of the coin was needed. One such fox, wink wink, would try to teach all the poor foxes, this is your coin. All you have to do is believe and keep buying it. That the market cap is very small, so if every poor fox just bought a few, it would become massively valuable. We don't have to gamble on meme coins or buy Bitcoin dust or sketchy crypto projects. We can all rally behind this better version of Bitcoin that's been around forever and proven itself with no downtime or hacks. So indeed, we the Fox people, we have the power to change the world with this. Just believe. 100 million of us poor foxes all trying to buy one of only 84 million Litecoins. Just think where it could go. This is our coin, so go get it. Eventually the message got out. Maybe because the hero was heard, maybe because of other reasons like the ETFs getting approved or other great new Litecoin developments like LitVM. Whatever the case, it would grow again. A few good foxes showed up and believed again, and unlike Fox Toshi, Foxy Lee was still there. In tears of joy that his mistake could be forgiven, that foxes would return. That the tree grew back, stronger than ever, truer, not by hype and lies, but by truth and transparency, by faith and persistence and hard work, a coin that survived everything. That it's still here and still so powerful after so many years that isn't going to just disappear as the haters claimed, that it will still be around in 50 years. Yes, indeed, the patient, loving father of Litecoin was still here to show the foxes the way forward, that foxes could trust him again, that they could once again delight in Litecoin and not be ashamed to collect it, that clever foxes would figure out it really is better for doing transactions. That it was used to transact value more than almost anything else. It's weird it has such a small market cap. I mean, seriously, its stats on trading are insane. That it was of true fair value that the whole world could partake in, to opt out of the broken fiat currencies of the world and embrace the future. In time, it became the coin of foxes, that it would once again be a silver delight that all foxkind takes joy in holding instead of shame, that it massively grew in value, and the few foxes who believed in it were in time well rewarded. That all the evil that was done to suppress it was defeated in the end, for light always cleaves through the darkness like a razor of truth. The end.